Okay, so today we will look how to split one straight alignment element and insert two constraint points. So in our example we have two constraint points, switch point 1 and switch point 2, which are located on the straight line element. And I'm going to divide this straight element by inserting two constraint points and basically locking the straight element between those 2 points. So the shift and lift values at these points will be equal to 0. So the first thing what we have to do is to check that we have activated the snap functionality, which will be required for this operation. And next thing is also important that we have full overview or zoom area available, so we see some data before and after these 2 points. Okay, so now we will insert the radii element at switch point 1 and switch point 3. From the toolbar I select the function for inserting radii element. I click exactly over the switch point 1. And you see I get radii element along with the transitional curves. So transitional curves we can delete by selecting and pressing delete key. So now we just have the straight element before and after the radii element. Each straight element has 2 control points. So as you can see, the beginning of the straight element has a cross, and then control point of the straight element has a circle. So in the next step, if I want to lock these 2 straight elements exactly at the switch point 1, we have to move the control points exactly over the switch point 1. So just use the mouse left key and just drag and drop these 2 points so they meet at the same point. So we have both points, start and end point of each element, are meeting at the same place. So the next thing, we have to reduce the area which is covered by the radii element, because now this area is 20 meters, but by reducing the radius, let's say we put 300 meters, press calculate, this area is reduced to almost 5 centimeters. So as you can see at the moment, we still have our straight line control points still in the same place. Everything is okay here. As you can see from the tooltip, we have horizontal offset at 0 millimeters. It means that there is no movement at this point. And then we can approach in the same way the switch point 3. So again, I select from the toolbar, insert radii element. We click exactly over the switch point 3. As the snap function is active, so we don't need to worry that it will not be inserted where it has to be. So with the snap function we always get exactly at the nearest point. And then after inserting we get these transition elements. So these transition elements we have to delete. So again I select one by one, delete, delete. So we have to repeat again the same approach with this center straight element. As you can see, it starts exactly where it has to start, so it's at the switch point 1, but the second control point, which is end control point of the the straight element is not exactly in the right place. So what we have to do, we just use a left mouse key and we shift this control point to the switch point 3, and we repeat the same with the start control point of the next straight element. So we move this small cross exactly to the switch point 3 and release. So now you see horizontal offset is already at 0 millimeters, but still we need to reduce the area covered by radial element. So double click on the radial element, put here the radius of 300 meters and press calculate. It might be that at some point the previous control points from the previous radial element has drifted, so there is no need to worry about this. If this happens something like this, you just need to put these 2 points one over each other. So it's like this, and then we again having this straight line in between, snapped exactly at the point 1 and the point 3. It's also, if we decide to adjust this element or adjust this element sideways, let's say I will select this element and I want to change the angle, so I will adjust the start point, start control point. As you can see, I'm increasing the offsets, and it might be that the radii is increasing, or the length of radius is increasing, or the points are getting away from the switch point 1. So if you just press left key on these points, it will get re-snapped again, and we have again just move like this. We can reduce the radius. So the radius is now 3 meters. So let's make it even shorter. I will put 50. So we have really small radius here. And if we close this dialog, yeah, we have horizontal offset like 1 millimeter. So it's basically nothing. We can just again try to move it, the points forward and backward to so they are snapping exactly at switch point 1, and we are almost on the target. Yeah, 1 millimeter doesn't play too much. If I again reposition this straight element back to where it was, let's say move this point to snap to this point, okay, so now we can continue here. We can look here. We have 300 meters at this place, so we can make it slightly smaller. Let's put it 100. And when I put it 100, you see my position of the radius has changed. So if you just reposition these points again, so they are snapping to the switch point 3, you see the radius is exactly in the middle, and we have the horizontal offset of 0 millimeters. So editing of the constraint points and horizontal alignment is completed. You can increase the amount of constraint points at other parts, but now we can also take a look at the vertical alignment. Okay, so in vertical alignment we also can see those same coded points, so switch point 1, switch point 3, and the target is to lock this straight element So it exactly starts and ends at these switch points, 1 and 3. So one thing what we can do is just again use the same street element control points and move them to corresponding positions. It means to switch point 1 and switch point 2, 3. So I use mouse left key, just drag and drop it here. As you can see, we have the vertical offset already at 0. However, if you want to eliminate the radii element from this area, again you can reduce the radius. Let's make it 1000. Yes, so we get the length just 2 meters. Press calculate, and then we can just slightly move the control point for the straight element. So we have exactly starting control point being snapped to the switch point 1. So as you can see, I can just move it forward, backward, and then reposition. So vertical offset is equal to 0. And then we have to adjust the straight element at the switch point 3. So we move the end point and control point of the straight element exactly over the switch point 3. So the radii element was extended, or basically it was moved, and we have here the vertical offset of 0. So as you can see, the result, the one straight element connected, aligned based on 2-point information. So of course in the middle we can have a different offsets depending what type of object it is, but in general these 2 points now are controlling the vertical alignment of this element.